Guys, the intensity of your urge is a reflection of your need to escape. And so you have to understand that sobriety affords you a level of clarity which will allow you to direct your life towards a higher trajectory. And so the people who have the most intensified of urges are usually the people who feel the need to escape. And so your urge is a reflection of how bad you need to escape. And so all of you who I influence and all of you who watch me, what I want you to understand is that sobriety is not just being sober. It actually allows your brain to develop at higher levels exponentially. And so the quality of your brain is going to reflect the quality of your life, because your brain is the only fucking thing you have to produce a higher quality of life. And so most of you guys end up in this cyclical pattern, this cyclical cycle, because you refuse to give up what is killing you. You guys have to understand that you are deliberately self-sabotaging yourself from the necessity of having the intelligence to direct your life at your will. And so most of you fall victim and you fall to the mercy of the substances. But what you have to understand is that the strength is in overcoming. And so most of you guys don't overcome what drags you down, and you guys protect what is keeping you low. And so this is a reflection of the worth you have for yourself. And so most of you guys don't believe you're worth the sobriety. And so you try to denounce sobriety, and you guys try to invert the fact that you are passively killing yourself, and you try to project it as if it's something cool. But what you have to understand is that the more you lack the actual brain function, the cognitive function of actually having the ability to intercept or to conceive information from external stimuli and then process this and then apply yourself in a diligent manner to create effective outcomes, the more you lack cognitive ability, the more you'll sit there and you'll use your emotions as a source of navigation and processing. And so most of you guys process life through the lens of emotion, and this is why you're a feather in the wind, going everywhere but where you want to go. And so I want you guys to truly understand that the moment you get sober, the moment you give up what is killing you, the moment you give up what is sabotaging you, you now have extra time on your hand. And not to mention the consequences of getting sober. You now have more money in your pocket. You now have more clarity, because clarity, you have to understand that if you see the world through a translucent lens, you're never going to actually see the picture for what it is. You only see the picture for what you are. And so the more you can get yourself to higher levels of mental clarity, the more life begins to look moldable instead of fixed. And so most of you guys suffer on an endless cycle because you believe life is fixed to your current position, because you lack the actual clarity and the transparency to see a reality for what it is. And so the more you choose to remain pitiful, the more you choose to sabotage and to subvert yourself through the substances to degrade yourself, you have to understand you are reinforcing the fact you're a fucking bitch. And so the realest to the real understand that sobriety isn't a fucking option. It's a fucking standard for being a human. And the more you lack sobriety, it's just a reflection of what you believe you're worth. And we're not here to change you. All my people know that we're not here. We're not going to force you to change. Matter of fact, if you don't give a fuck about yourself, we don't give a fuck even more. And so the measurement or the ratio of you not giving a fuck about yourself, multiply that by infinity, and then collapse that into a singularity, and then concentrate that, and then create an endless cycle of duplication, and that's how much we don't give a fuck about you. And so I want all my people to understand that if you are struggling to be sober, you are very weak-willed. It's time to look in the fucking mirror. It's time to earn your fucking gratitude for life. Hit the fucking floor, do your push-ups, go to the fucking gym, actually transmute and transform your life instead of sabotaging yourself. Look in the fucking mirror and understand that you have all the power you need to overcome what is keeping you down. And it all begins with the strength you need to acquire. And you have to understand that everything in life is a test. And if you can't pass the first fucking test to development, you will forever be an existential failure in a mirror of what the fuck to not recognize. And so you guys have to recognize the strength within you, because it's already there. All the strength to be sober was already there the moment you came out that fucking wound. The moment you picked up a bottle and entered the pit of pitifulness, of regret and apathy, turned into an actual action to animate and emanate through the universe. The moment you chose to create this for yourself, You have to understand the strength was always there. All you have to do is recognize it. And so you have to build yourself into the individual who can hop over the obstacle of being a delirious, self-diluting, self-sabotaging fucking organism. If you can't be sober and the chimpanzee is sober, well, you are inferior to a chimpanzee. If the chimpanzee has 80 million brain cells and you have 80 billion brain cells, and you can't be sober, but the chimpanzee is naturally sober, you are inferior to a chimpanzee. If you can't be sober and fit, you are inferior to a chimpanzee. If you can't be sober, fit, enlightened, and rich, you are failing at being a fucking human. And so you get sober, you get fit, you get enlightened, and then you facilitate yourself to the trajectory of becoming rich. Because rich is not a fixed standard. It's something you just do, being and existing in a fucking matrix. And so you might as well take full advantage of it, and you might as well ensure that you become successful to the standard of what success is needed to be required in this fucking existence, in this dimension, in this world. And so most of you guys exist in a very small confinement called the prison of your mind. And if you don't step the fuck up and see that you need to do more with yourself and your life, you will forever exist in a pattern which reinforces itself every time you collapse the possibility of possible change. And so it's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to look in the mirror. It's time to do some shit, to be some shit, which is more than what you are now. It's that fucking simple. Peace.